In the military, I was in a combat MOS, right? We had our first female artillery, right? And she could do everything that the guys could do, right? So I had no qualms or anything with her, right? Then it started to be like, oh, we need more females in combat MOSs. And then they just started taking random females who could not do everything the guys could do. Like they could not carry a guy off the battlefield. It's just point blank simple. It was proven that they couldn't. So I don't know why they was in the MOS. As long as they could do the job, I'm perfectly fine with it. But when it comes to jobs that can't, like I say mostly like compound MOSs, but nursing, as I was saying that, I was conquered stuff because I'm like, okay, for if you want to send somebody in, right? Think Ren. No, what is your name? What's the host's name? Not Ren.
Demented.
Demented, because Demented doesn't like guy doctors or nurses, right? Because past trauma, right? So you have to get a female nurse or doctor to go check her out, right? A guy can't do that. You can't just switch over like, okay, yeah, we can handle this, blah, blah, blase, blase, right?
Wait, I have a question actually. Afterlife, see if it came down to it and there was no female doctors, no women doctors about, would you take a man doctor if that was like a last resort? Yeah. Yeah, I'm the same. I'm the exact same that way. Like when I have gave birth to both my kids, I could only have women doctors putting in my IVs and stuff like that. The men weren't allowed to touch me. So, and a lot of men doctors get that, and they do tend to have a lot of women doctors on call for that reason. Like,
Is that is
like I don't know if you'll notice, but when you go into a hospital, you'll see a lot more female nurses and women than you will men
Just a
walking
segue
around and
here.
stuff.
oh yeah, 100%.
Just a segue real quick.
I'm just saying certain jobs. It's just it's just certain jobs. I'm not saying all jobs. I know, like even for women, I think it should be a different stuff. Like if you get a female like a wedding planner, they usually cost more than male wedding planners.
Actually, male wedding planners are actually a lot
So,
better at wedding planners than women. Like see gay men, that's who you want for your wedding planning man. You don't want a straight woman, you want a gay man.
but I
Yeah,
do
but
have a
then
question.
that's
Both for
another
patch and
sub.
demented, since
I
it
want to
was
know
on
which job
topic,
specifically.
since it had to do with the topic. So let's say it was a trans woman. Would you have an issue with that being your doctor?
That's a woman.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure because I have a feeling that there might have been people that were like, "Oh, well, then they would say the same thing."
What like so I'm sorry for all the really weird questions. Right? What if it is like a man? I'm a guy doctor, but he's very effeminate. Like clearly this is a gay man. You know what I mean? What about that? Yeah. No, I was just wondering. Just wondering. But like, can I just ask, like, what jobs like would you say that like can you give me a few examples of jobs where women should not get paid as much as men for doing the exact paid more than women in the same work field as them?
Let's see. It's not even. I'm not gonna go with women. I just think if you don't pull your weight, you
No,
should get
because
paid
that's what
less.
it
Let's
is.
do that.
No, but that's what it is. It's the gender pay gap. It's a thing that exists. It's very real. Even the governments are not aware about it. You can report it. Okay, so it is about that because you did say that you don't think that women
Okay,
should get paid as much as men in certain jobs. So which jobs is that? And it obviously needs to be in regards to people that are in the same field.
wait a minute. I think I may have figured out the issue here. Hey, X, are you
What's up?
taking out the concept of woman since the fact that we determined woman as including trans women, so now you're going to flip it to females?
I just don't like. I don't like saying. I just like saying females, me personally,
That's fair. So,
because
no, fine then, like for argument's sake then, which jobs do you think, in the same work field again, do you think that a female should be paid less than a male?
I would say law enforcement,
Why?
firefighters, huh?
Well, right, so why law enforcement? Because two police officers, a male and a female, do the exact same jobs.
Okay,
Both are
they
just as in danger as the other. Both put their lives at risk just as much as the other. So why should
correct.
a
They
man be
are
paid more than a woman?
only because I would trust like a woman to detect all this other stuff, but when I am shot and I need to get pulled out,
2 seconds, sweetheart.
her physical strength is not going to be as much as a guy's.
Well, you know, something that I think's
I
hilarious with your
understand.
statement.
Wait,
Can
but
I tell you
I
something
understand.
that's really funny with your statement? See, here in the UK, see, recently something happened to a girl, a woman called Sarah Everard. She was abducted and R-worded and unalived by a police officer. Our own police force, the the police force have basically told women, all females, do not trust male officers. If you're literally alone and a male officer comes to you, you make sure that he's not alone, you make sure he's got a badge, you make sure you're recording. That's what we've been told to do because we can't trust male police officers as females.
Lilith, basing pay on physical strength. I understand how you're getting that it's caveman thinking, but I'm not. It's I'm gonna say the majority of men are naturally stronger than majority of women. Can we all agree on that?
No.
Sorry, my child shouted. What did you say? Sorry.
I actually don't agree with that. I just want to make sure that's clear because I don't think majority of men are stronger than majority of women. Because I think it's the actual opposite. Because if you actually pay attention to how society really is, a lot of men are not as big as a lot of people like to put it out there to be. If you actually pay attention to society, you'll look at all the scrawny, like skinny looking men that are walking around that I know for a fact could be broken like a twig.
See, as well, also, like, what are we saying in regards to strength? What are we talking about here, right? Because women are literally like, we can push out 8 to 10, 12, 13 pound babies out of us. We also sit better in regards to tattooing. We can sit for longer periods of time getting tattoos than men because you just can't hack the pain. So, what is strength to you? Is it just lifting? Because a lot of
Honestly,
things encompass strength.
women can be as strong as men, but it's going to take them a lot more work.
I disagree.
What do you? There's not. There's.
I disagree solely because in my personal life, none of my male friends are stronger than me, and I've never went to the gym or anything like that. I was just a very like kind of sporty. I've done horse riding as a kid and stuff like that. I,
Mm-hmm.
I eat crap. I literally live on chips, natural cheese, and bacon, and I get stoned 24/7. But none of my guy friends are stronger than me. So
X, can I guess that you go to the gym often?
I
I
can
don't.
go to the gym also, and I just do body exercises.
Okay, so the reason I asked that is do you want to know how many actual people, let's just use the United States, that actually go to the gym? Not get a membership, but actually like go.
Mm-hmm.
Probably way less than you think. So like the majority of those men are not as strong as they quote unquote make everybody think they are. Like, so when people are like, "Oh, men are stronger than women," they go into like the powerlifting section where there's like maybe like five dudes in there that are lifting, 500 pounds with one arm and totally cool with it. And then they're like, "Oh yeah, so this proves that men are stronger than women." But then you can also find women power lifters. Like if we wanted to take that small minority of men that are actually going to the gym and doing all these deadlifting, I could also go and find the small majority of women that are doing the exact same thing. And I could also push the narrative that, oh, women are now stronger than men.
Especially
Because
when
you
some
can
of those women are breaking men's records.
Um, if you take the fastest male sprinter and take the fastest female
Usain
sprinter,
Bolt.
Who will win?
It depends on the kind of see, in regards to running, it does depend. A short sprint, he's going to win. A long sprint, she's going to win.
There's also other
Because
determining
women,
factors here too.
like yeah, like there's a lot of different factors when it comes to
Who
like sprinting and stuff like that. Like the fastest man is who Usain Bolt, so we need basically the female that runs the equivalent to him for women runners. You know what I mean? Like the female.
on yeah, but on top of that, it also takes length of legs.
Yeah,
So, like, let's say if we say
the
that the
tall
fastest
man.
woman happens to be, 2 feet shorter than the fastest man, and it just happens to be that they're shorter. That right there gives the man an advantage just because of the height. It has nothing to do with the fact that they're a man. It just has to do with the fact that they're taller. So they have a longer length on their legs, which means that they can stride farther. So, like, there's a lot of determining factors. It has nothing to do with the fact that they're a man, because you can find there's plenty of women out there that are tall.
High school wrestling, they do not separate by gender. I
They
did
just
high school
separate by weight
wrestling.
To
class.
me.
Right.
Sorry, I was just saying I've never understood that. We don't do wrestling in schools over here in Scotland, so unless you go to
That's
private
that
school.
accent. There we go.
Yeah.
But one of my, I say she's like, mm, my mom adopted somebody, so she's kind of like my cousin in a way. It's like a close family friend, and she whoops on guys in high school, right? But when she tried to go up past high school, it was completely different. She went to state and everything. But as soon as she got past that high school level, everything changed, even in her own weight class.
Well, I mean, that's for like any sport, though. Think about how many quote
Yeah.
unquote. Wait. Think about how many like football players. I'll give you that as an example. Think how many football players that are amazing in like high school never make it to college ball.
Yeah, they're mid in college. Like it's and because in high school you're good for being a high schooler, but like those high schoolers aren't as good as the college and the professionals. They need to get up to that, which is why they then go to college on their scholarships and they work hard for it to then try and get to like the NFL and shit like that. It's the same over here with football.
Did
Like
you
Just because,
guys
just because
did
they
you
don't
guys
make,
see
huh?
did you guys see the transgender the woman who transitioned
You
into
have to
there's
be
a
more
lot of them.
specific than
You need to
that,
be more
because
specific.
oh yeah, she transitioned when she was doing swimming.
Oh, Leah Thomas, yes.
Leah Thomas.
Yeah,
Popular.
Okay, I just didn't know which person you're
Yeah, you
talking
know,
about. So
Leah
I
Thomas
couldn't
was
think of her
doing
name at the time.
Leah Thomas, I've got quite into reading swimming stats when she became quite a talking point. So yeah, when Leah Thomas before she was competing as a trans woman, like she was still competing in the men's division. She was doing great. She was doing absolutely fabulous. She wasn't like losing. She wasn't doing crap. She then obviously started her transition, moved over to the women's league, and she was doing shit. She broke one record, and it was broken again the next day by a cis woman, and she's not really won anything since then. Like she's a mid swimmer in the women's division.
Oh, I'm sorry, Hex. Hex, do I need to change my name, Hex? I'll change it
Makes
You're
for
an
you.
fine.
extra
It's
to the
it's
um,
funny.
man.
I just thought it was funny because every time they say X, I think I hear my name.
but 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 X, not hex, X. Um, the other point to that is that, like, so would you say that Michael Phelps would have an unfair advantage?
Because he does.
And what?
And he's
Swimming.
swimming, yeah. Because he does, it has an unfair biological advantage, and it's been pointed out to the point that they're actually investigating possibly taking all these trophies and stuff off of him.
Nope.
Right.
But he has a
Especially,
like, it's not anything like, it wasn't like Michael Phelps transitioned or anything like this. He was born that way.
And
Correct?
most men are born that way.
Right.
Most
And
women see better
just
colors
so you
than
know,
guys do.
but hold on, let me finish. On the born that way, you're right. And all trans people are born that.
yeah.
Like, they have
Like,
it in their, like, in their
see if
mind.
you have, oh, so sorry. If you have an unfair advantage in sport that's to do with your biology, normally you do have to adapt to be able to compete competitively. For example, there's a cis woman swimmer who produces more testosterone than the average woman, and it's an unfair advantage against her cis counteropponents. So for her to be able to compete competitively, she's basically been asked to take birth control just to basically lower that, just so it's equal like an equal playing field, and she's point blank refusing.
Mom, I want to go shower.
So like, yeah, we're not going for a shower.
I just wanted to throw this topic out there. It's a controversial topic.
Well, I mean, when you actually think about it, though, like, okay, when you know, so you as a person even know yourself, even high school wrestling. I know you have the person that you use as the example, but that's still mute via the fact that they still wrestled through high school
Mm-hmm.
and did
Mm-hmm.
all those accomplishments in high school. Then they went to
Mm-hmm.
the next level, yes. But think of how many people try to go to that next level and don't make it that are, cis men in general.
So
Think of how many people that are go like, oh, I'm state in high school, and then I go to the college level and I basically crash out because that level is the next step up. It happens all the time. So just because that one person happened to fall into that group doesn't mean anything, because there are actual college female wrestlers.
right. I just feel like that there are certain strengths that guys will always be majority of better than women is are,
What
then
about the
women
wait,
will
I have a
always
question for
be
you. What about the trans man who's a boxer, so born biologically female? He's a trans man. He just beat 3 cis men at boxing.
that's boxing is
Yeah,
boxing
boxing, physical fighting. Yeah,
boxing is
a
fighting,
trans
right?
man beat 3 cis men in a row. KO'd one
I
of them
don't
in the first round.
I don't think fighting is a fair example.
Okay, so
Cause fighting is a lot of technique and everything combined.
what about the
Like
Depends
female
on weight classes.
college student that? What about the female college student that's playing a quarterback for football?
that's also technique. She not a running back.
Isn't all
Don't gotta do
sports
sprints.
technique?
Every
And
single
wait,
sport
Huh?
requires skill and technique, bro. Every single one. Name me a
like,
sport that
Anything
doesn't.
anything that requires skill and technique, a
Every
woman
single
can be
sport.
just
Name
as
me a
good
sport
as
that
a
doesn't
guy
require
is.
that. Name me a sport that doesn't require skill and technique. Please
that's what I was
name
gonna
me
ask
one
too.
sport. One sport that doesn't require you to be skilled at it and require you to have technique. Please, any sport in the world.
Any sport,
Which sport does not require it?
skill
Just
and technique.
one.
Because if there was any sport out there that did not require skill and technique, any average Billy Joe Bob could like go and join all these competitive sports, but they don't, because every single sport requires you to have good sporting technique and skill. So do you understand now?
I understand what you're saying.
Like
So
me personally, I don't think we should be like separating sport at all. I think that like with the way they're doing it now in boxing and stuff like that, for example, I think that men should be able to fight women and it should all be done by weight class and things like that, the way it is now. And I think they would be just as good as the men, if not better. Like,
I actually agree
because
with
again,
that.
it's down you just said it's down to skill and technique. You just said it.
You did,
I
and
never said I
Well, you
never said I
can't decide
disagree with
it for
that.
one person. You can't say, oh, well, that's to do with skill and technique because I proved you wrong when I brought up the trans man. But then when I say, why don't we just let them all compete together? If it's to do with that, you go, well, no, I don't agree with that. Make up
I
your
never
mind.
said I didn't agree with that. That was
I
Two
think
Spirit
Patch heard.
saying
I
he
think
was
Patch
agree.
heard I agreed, and I think Patch heard I disagree. That was my. But
You know
X,
what?
you did say, just to clarify, X, you did say that it was based like on skill. But like again, can you
Correct.
name one sport out there that doesn't have skill?
I can honestly say I cannot name one single sport that I know of.
So where's the argument here then? Can you justify the fact that you said it then? Because like
Because
there's no
yeah,
sport.
So my look, I when it comes down to skill and technique, if they're both equal into skill and technique, it's gonna come down to strength and stamina.
which like so again, how do you get strength and stamina? Because nobody's born with just strength and stamina. Like, you know what cardiorespiratory endurance is, don't you? and you know that you need to build that as like a football player and stuff to be able to play for like 90 minutes at a time and stuff. This is stuff that you work on throughout your younger years. That's why people go to all this stuff, so you can be good at it as an adult.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want, if you, like for example, you want to do football, you're going to have good upper body strength, even if you're a girl, because it's something that you've done and practiced your whole life.
Mm-hmm.
Gender doesn't matter.
It does in
It
a
does.
sense.
It does.
It really does.
You haven't. Okay, here's the problem, X. And I'm just gonna be straight with this. Here's the problem. You have
Be
yet to
straight.
give.
Shoot me straight.
You haven't. No, I'm not setting you straight. I said I'm being
No, I
straight with
said
you.
shoot me straight.
Okay. Here's the thing. You haven't said anything that proves your argument. You make claims like men are stronger, but you have nothing to back it up. Or you make statements like the it's based on skill. So obviously a sport without skill, it would be only for men, or like men should be separated or something like that. And then like when you get proven wrong, you kind of backpedal and then go back to the, well, men are stronger than women, but yet you still have yet to provide any evidence. Because, like, in all honesty, everything you're going to provide, there's a counter argument for. In all honesty, because like, there's no actual proof that men are actually stronger than women. Because if a woman were to train the exact same as a man, they would actually start getting the same results. So
I
again,
that
Even with my asthma,
it's not false.
even with my asthma, I have better stamina than the average guy, just due to how much I used to work out and train and stuff and do like horse riding, football a lot as a child. Like I used to literally play football with like the local boy team for 90 minutes at a time. Like I have better stamina than my little cousin who's 16 and a guy.
right.
To prove
Like
it's not false, X, here's the proof. Ready? If you started lifting, let's just go easy, 30-pound weight, right? And you did
Mm-hmm.
curls for 30-pound weights, and a female did the exact same thing, ate the exact same foods you ate, had the same, basically getting the same mass and then distributing that back to muscle, because that's exactly what would happen. That's how you get muscle. You turn fat into muscle. So they would eat the exact same foods as you. They're training the exact same way you're training. They would actually retain the same muscle as you would. Now, there are different factors to that, though, on the fact that, like, genetically as a person, you might pack muscle easier than another person. That's why you can see that sometimes men to other men are bigger, because genetically, not because they're a man, but genetically they have, little tiny things that each one of us have that are different from each other, that maybe you pack protein into your muscles and all that fun stuff easier than everybody else. So you might make it easier. But in general sense, if a man and a woman did the exact same exercises, ate the exact same foods, and had the exact same mass to transform into muscle, they would have the exact same results for the majority of the sentence. Now, there are outliers. So, like, again, if you happen to make muscle better, faster than other people, which is a thing, there are people that do, it's just easier for them to do, and it has nothing to do with their gender, it has nothing to do with it whatsoever. It has to do with the fact that they have either a genetic advantage passed down from their parents, that they can pack muscle better than other people. It has nothing to do with the fact that they're male or female.
I can say this for a fact. So every year, right, we have a physical fitness test. And when you're in the lower of the ranks in the military, you guys all do the same exercises. You wake up at 5, you do your little PTs, your physical training till 6 o'clock, right? Most people just do that. That's all they do, right? And some people do go to the gym and they do all this stuff. So it's not. I'm not going to say it's 100% accurate. I'm not going to sit here and lie. But most of the when we do it, we usually do it as a unit. All the females usually finish in the middle of the middle to the end of the pack.
Okay,
That's
so
where most of their numbers are.
yeah, but here's where you're getting that thing. First, who are the ones that are going to the gym that you saw
Hmm?
mostly? Who are the ones that mostly you saw going to the gym,
I
doing
say
the
it was
extra
about
gym?
Going to the actual gym?
Yeah, because here's the thing, and you know this just as well as I know this. Um, when it comes to the military, it's not about stacking on muscle.
Right.
So like when you see in the movies where you got those like military guys that are like, jacked as crap, that have like muscles the size of, like, I don't know, they look like freaking smaller versions of the Hulk. It's a
Mm-hmm.
myth. That's a myth. Like you might get one or two of those guys in there, but like for the most part, that's not really what it looks like,
Yeah,
because
I, I
it's
think
actually based on endurance and that stuff more than they care about packing on muscle.
honestly, I
It's
stay near one of the UK army kind of areas. They're a scrawny wee fucks, man. What? Like they all look like they're obviously they're not scrawny, right? But like, see, looking at them, they're not like these big that you see in the movies. They're not like GI Joe. They're like literally your average person that's just joined the army. Because it's just average people that join the army. Like, I don't really
right.
know what point you're trying to prove there.
So they finish like we pretty much do the exact same stuff, right?
Stella.
And let me ask
And
you
I'm
this:
not gonna say
who
like,
who do you
oh, to answer your
usually?
question.
But
Yeah, to answer your question.
who do you usually see? Okay, so who are the people that usually sign up for the military in the U.S.? Or is it the
Uh,
usual like high sport athletes that sign up?
Sometimes I won't say usually, but I feel like it's the run of the mill people.
Normally the high sport athletes don't, because they get college, stuff
Right.
that makes it to where they don't need to go do that. Usually it's the people that and I'm gonna be honest with you, usually it's the loners that don't do all the working out and stuff that sign up for the military. I know this from personal experience. It's not usually the high college athletes. Those are usually the ones that end up in like leader roles and stuff in the military, but usually it's the outcasts or the people that don't feel like they have a place in society, and they join the military because they see it as a paycheck and don't realize the other consequences that come along with it, and then go ahead and do that, because that's why we recruit so young in the military, is because of the concept of, hey, look, this is a paycheck and you can go do this. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
especially like, do you not get like really good benefits as well being in the army in America? Like,
oh yeah, yeah, there's
so there's a
benefits and
lot there's
stuff
a
like that.
lot of people that are literally just joining the army for like the health benefits and things like that because they need it. It's a job, it's a paycheck at the end of the day for a lot
So
of people.
so my point here is you can't really compare like military to like sports, because it's totally different.
Yeah.
Correct. You get semi free, you get okay health care, and you get benefits.
All
The
right, but
best
like,
thing you get
X,
is
let's be
free
honest with
college.
us. When the recruiter's telling you, does the recruiter go, you get okay benefits and you get okay pay?
Nah,
Or
you get like
No, they
your
don't. You know
or
they're like
dang
in your
well they
face
don't tell you
reminding
that.
you
Why
about
you
all
asking me
these
that?
really good benefits. Did they not go to like your high school things like your job fairs and stuff like that and talk about how great the benefits are of being in the army?
I'm just saying, like, my point here is, X, for a fact that they don't tell you that when you're signing
Correct.
up.
They
That
don't.
they make it sound like this amazing adventure, and they give you all this like, oh yeah, you want to do this? Sure, 100%. You have a high chance of being able to go do that job. But in all honesty, that's not even true. Whatever your recruiter tells you is probably not going to happen. I'm just being honest with you.
Like, there's honestly like no benefits in the UK when it comes to like joining the army because obviously we already have free healthcare and stuff like that. So they don't even come to our jobs fairs because all they can really say is you join this, you can maybe make some friends, and you'll probably get PTSD. And yes, we will celebrate Fireworks Night and not care about you. Like, it's ridiculous out here.
Yeah, the PTSD part's not a joke, but like, I know you're not meaning it as a joke, but I mean, like,
No, I don't.
for
Yeah,
other
like,
people,
because in all seriousness, vast majority of our homeless veterans over here most of them have PTSD, and you know how many times, because obviously we have Guy Fawkes night, and that is literally just a night of fireworks, and that's really detrimental to their mental health. So we have places like the Salvation Army and that trying to get these nights stopped and all that, and talking about the PTSD that these homeless people on the streets have and how it does affect them, and how these people are going to throw themselves into the Thames and the Clyde. Sometimes that's what they think about doing just to get away from the noises, and they don't care. Our government don't care about them.
Do you know how many people that are